So, I have finally came back, and it has taken me so long to do another video because, well, I have been going through hell, for lack of better terms. And get the shadow off. Okay, so been going through hell, for the lack of better terms. And throughout all this stuff that I've been going through, I couldn't figure out exactly what I should make a video about. So what I've brought it down to is the simple fact that people don't know how to solve problems anymore. So this video is going to be all about problem solving, more particularly within a relationship. Now, something that I've just come up with some thought or whatever. The biggest thing when it comes to problem solving is, you know, the back and forth, you do the arguing, and it's tiring. Everybody gets tired of arguing. Nobody wants to do it. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. But it can be beneficial if you get somewhere. The thing about it is, what do you do when you argue and you try to fix things, but they don't get you anywhere? But you want them to get you somewhere, so you keep trying, and your persistence gets you nowhere. So what I thought about was the simple fact that when you have things bothering you, things that are on your mind, and you might not mention it the first or second time. The thing about it is, it's best to say something when something first bothers you. I do a 1-2 thing. Like, okay, it happens once, you got your free pass. It happens twice, you should bring it to the person's attention. But the problem comes into play when you discuss something or argue about something, however it comes out, and the other person or you, all of a sudden, they kind of give up. I mean, yeah, because it's tiring and all that other shit. So they give up the argument, and they're basically like, you know what, it's fine. They say it's fine, and they might feel that way at the time, or they might not, but they might convince themselves it's fine so they can convince you that it's fine when it's really not. So it's basically like you take this thing and you stir it up. You mix everything all together until you feel like it's dissolved itself. But in reality, when you're done stirring and shaking it all up, later on, when you're alone and that person's not there anymore and all you have is you, yourself, and your thoughts, all of that shit that made you mad in the first place or that you were arguing about in the first place, it's going to come down. It's going to bring you down. All that stuff that you've stirred up is going to settle. And when it settles, you're not going to be happy. So the thing about problem solving, the thing about when you argue, is walk away from the argument feeling better within yourself. The problem might not be solved, but at least feel better within yourself. Don't convince yourself that it's going to be okay because you just want to stop arguing. The best thing to do is to get some self-clarification. Do it for yourself. Be selfish about it, honestly. Because if both of you guys are being selfish about it, both of you end up getting what you want out of the argument. You might not get a permanent solution, but get some type of self-clarification where you could be like, you know, I actually feel better about this. So when you go home that night or whatever happens, you're not laying in bed thinking, I'm still pissed the fuck off over blah, 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 this, that. Nobody wants to feel like that. It's not a good feeling. And then you wake up the next morning with resentment towards your partner because you've had all these thoughts, while they're over there thinking, well, I thought we solved this yesterday. So don't lie to yourself, because it only hurts both of you in the long run. You lie to yourself, you're going to end up lying to this other person, regardless if you realize it or not. So don't do it. Lies are like the basis of everything wrong. But the worst part about it is when you do it and you don't realize you're doing it. Whew. So, basically what I'm getting at is when you discuss something with your partner, you need to be able to walk away feeling better on the inside. And you might not be able to walk away until you feel a little bit better. And it's hard to feel better. It takes a lot. But that's what I said in the last video. No, be persistent, be determined, and do not give up. Because if you cut yourself short within an argument, it's gonna turn around, and it's gonna end up like right back in your face. And nobody wants to live each day basing everything on what happened yesterday, last week, last month, a year ago. It's not fun. Like, how can you ever be a better person if your partner is always basing everything you do on what you've done? You try to make changes, but when you're not doing those things that they don't like, when you're doing something that you're supposed to be doing, like when you're actually making those changes, they'll be like, oh, well, I see you're not doing that. And it's just like, you know, if we had got past this the first time, it wouldn't be something that you brought up, because you obviously went home that night or went to bed that night with the thought still on your mind, because it was settling down after you shook everything up. You know, it all came down, and it brought you down as well. Excuse me, I'm semi-tripping home alone and shit. And I'll be paranoid. But, yeah, that's basically what this video is about, you know. Don't just shake things up for the moment. Let it all out. Drain and filter your feelings. Because if you let it all, like you mix it all up, it's gonna settle. And you're gonna be unhappy. Or your partner is going to be unhappy, whoever does this. But eventually it's going to hit both of you. So it's just not a good idea. You let things out. You express yourself from the start. But do it the right way. Don't do it with an attitude. Don't criticize or judge. Just speak your mind respectfully. And the definition of respectful in the right way varies per person, per relationship. I can't tell y'all exactly what is right or exactly what is respectable. But you know, so do that. Don't push your partner's buttons just because you're upset and you want them to be the same way. Because two upset people get you nowhere. So, I hope me saying this has brought myself some clarification. And I also hope that it helps someone else out there. So, we'll see where this all gets me. Until next time.